Hello, welcome to another one of our videos. This one is going to be a little bit kind of touching on how scammers they turn on each other. So, for instance, you will know that Thomas and Kim used to be kind of let's just say that they were partners in crime, should I say? Although at the time we thought that they were actually doing their bit for humanity to wake the world up and maybe guide us through something that would be really good to try and help the world to be a better place. So, as an example, another one is, which I'll go through it, is Neil Keenan and Thomas Williams were really good friends. He used to actually look up to Neil Keenan as a father figure, and then he turned on him. And then you've got um, like Tank falling out with Thomas, Thomas falling out with Tank, T- Thomas falling out with Shane Runa, falling out with Alan James, you name it. So what we're going to do is cover a couple of little bits and just show you how these people that we used to look up to as like saviors, because no matter what people say, you're looking for a savior. Well, they are in a little way. That's how we looked up to them. Is we saw Kim and Thomas as people that were connected because they told us they were connected to Source. They're connected to an ET alien council from different dimensions. So we were lied to, but at the time we didn't know that. So they're kind of like a saviors because there's no one else. We didn't have that connection, so they're kind of concocted stories. They made out that we were basically depending on them to give us updates on intel and stuff like that. That's what Kim and Thomas do today. So I want to go and show you some evidence on this, what they do, on how they turn on each other. Remember, these were buddies, people that have been chosen by Source, chosen by ET racers and other things that we look up to as like high and mighty, amazing things that are here to help us get out of this matrix of hell at the moment. So let's have a little look at some of the evidence that we've got here. Right, so who should we start on? Okay, we'll start on with the Thomas Williams and Neil Keenan. Okay, so what we're gonna show you here is I'm gonna show you um, some slides of Thomas Williams actually saying good things about Neil Keenan. As you can see on the screen right now, this is going back from when he was part of Cosmic Voice, when he's saying this will be a shortage. This will be a shortish update on a video being worked on. The full report. Neil Keenan made history last week. Let me go back a minute. Neil Keenan made history last week by becoming the first Westerner to enter the bunkers that contain gold, diamonds, and other items of quantities that are unimaginable. Those that doubted the global collateral accounts even exist read and weep. So as you can see there's Neil Keenan with his mate. Went over to can't remember who it was. It might have been, is it somewhere in, I can't remember, Thailand or somewhere. But anyway, he went over to this country where these bunkers were, and he believed to have pulled out this gold, which turned out to be complete rubbish. So anyway, we'll move on to the next slide. Just showing some examples, and this is where one of Thomas's predecessors that was part of Cosmic Voice, Dawn Johnson. She was basically the one that used to host the show Cosmic Voice, and they warned when she left Cosmic Voice. And there was another little group that started up exposing Thomas Williams, Neil Keenan, and everybody else that there were, and Drake. That there's just lies. There's nothing to anything that they say that they've got connections or collateral accounts. This is where Dawn's actually kind of on her own Facebook page said, "Well, Thomas Williams, we warned you about Neil Keenan. How does it feel to be innocent and then made out to be guilty? We know how it feels, and in this group, and every one of us, Neil had thrown mud at. You know, um, you know he has got between you and Drake and created a wedge. What does that say?" So there you go. It just shows that someone in that group warned him back then that Neil Keenan wasn't who he says he was, that he was like some kind of, like call it M, which is connected to, getting all this collateral accounts and money and stuff like that, which, of course, Thomas Williams was believing it all, wasn't he? So this one here is now showing you how when he's turned on Neil Keenan. So this is going back about 2017, 2018. This is taken from their Facebook group page, Truth and Honor and Integrity. As you can see in here, you've got Christy Adams down the bottom there. Christy Adams is Kim. She had an alias she was using, which was part of Cosmic Voice, and when she moved into THI, pretending at the time that she was that Christy Adams was a real person. It wasn't. So anyway, this is what he says, Thomas, at the top. A whole heap of drivel in that interview. Chinese elders, Nasara, Jasara, Bitcoin, Draco, and ET stuff, all BS or not happening. Notice the mentioned Gilland. Same group is why 20 federal charges and not yet in jail. Bit like Neil Keenan, who got 5 years jail and was sent to do a job overseas. Question is, who do they work for? I know, but getting people to see through their things is easier. And this is where Christy Adams says, many of you won't remember, but I got kicked out of Cosmic Voice for questioning Neil Keenan on the RV. I spent 26 years of my life in banking of some sort of other. You met the fuckers in the game, and I asked, how will this be done? And all of the and all he did was yell at me, and I got kicked out. Now that dude thinks he's a king. So let's move on to the next one. So the next bit says where she's put everyone's saying, good job, Christy. And then Thomas Williams goes, Amiro, dings, dongs, and drugs. And she says, so I just stopped saying anything that after that. People cannot explain it and they don't want to hear it. Now I get slung a lot of dung. So this is where it's showing you where she's starting to come out more into the group. And then Chris Adams says he has robbed people blind, not quite as much as the RV, but he perpetrated it and still does. Oh, the drug dealing Irishman. So there you go. So that's a couple of slides of Thomas calling out Neil Keenan. But let's have a listen just to show. I've made a clip from Neil Keenan on Cosmic Voice. Let's play this, and then we'll come back, and you'll just see how he was sucking up to Neil Keenan.
Where are we? Are you able to talk about the spirits in the bunkers or the ceremonies / rituals?
I can't tell you about I'm not supposed to talk about the inside of the bunker, but I can tell you that only thing I probably can tell you is they claim there is physical spirits there, and when they talk about that, a lot of people get very nervous.
Right.
Inside the bunker, and there's more than 10,000 of them allegedly.
Did you feel their presence?
I felt all 10,000 of them. It seemed like they were around me. I told them to go get Joe, but they wouldn't listen.
Maybe.
And by the way, Joe was very nervous because he had heard the stories about the 3 Muslims that went into the bunkers, and they were very religious people. But when they got inside and they saw the gold, they became greedy, and they melted. They melted, and this was before many people. And the story has been coming down for me for years. But there's many other stories too that are not similar, but where people get sick and die 2 weeks later and things. You know, so when you go in there, you have to have a clean heart, a pure heart. You know, and
Yep.
I'm lucky because money isn't my god. You know, I'm very lucky. I go in there to get the deal done. When I finish the deal, I know there's another deal, and then another deal, and another. I like the deals.
Yeah.
No, doesn't matter how long they take. You have to get through a lot of red tape. In this case.
So there's the Neil Keenan bullshitting. Doesn't care about the money. Makes me laugh, though, does every time I listen to that. But yeah, as you can see on this is what I was on about, is that he basically was looked up to Neil Keenan and Drake as well as like father figures. They actually brought him into the limelight where he is today, and he turned on them. Although not really bothered, that's what they do. When Neil Keenan apparently shit on Tiny, so Tiny's done the same back, and he still does every day. He can't just move on. If someone with this so-called trust from source and ETs and etc. of goods, the good kind of, the good type of ETs or aliens that are on our side, for him to act this way is just like, it's just not good enough, is it? You just don't do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is show you what was posted on United News Channel. This is what she put, Kim. Clarification statement in response to Mr. Williams's recent public announcement. As previously revealed by myself and also Mr. Williams himself, there's been ongoing investigation conducted by the Russian authorities into Team Bubba's connection to child auction site with a Lithuanian server and several connected child pornography sites. During these investigations, it's been discovered that Mr. Williams also has connections to the same Lithuanian server and is now being investigated by the Russian authorities. Due to the above, I can no longer associate with Mr. Williams and will continue to assist the Russian authorities with their investigations that now sadly includes Mr. Williams. So this is what kicked off their big bust up. And as we go into the next one, okay, so this is the one where on the 11th of June, where clarification statement confirm all clearances previously held by Mr. Williams have been revoked. So she removed his so-called majestic clearance that she told everybody he had. Here you go. Very important announcement. Confirmation arrived this morning that Mr. Williams is a suspect now working for the Rothschilds and against the benefit of humanity. All donations collected by TPC are ending up in the hands of the cabal. So she's basically saying that he's an agent. And the last one was on 19th of June, where this is after Thomas Williams had been saying a lot of things about her in his show, that he'd had a big bust up and that. So on the 19th of June, she says, due to Mr. Williams' continued slandering of me and his refusal to keep it zipped with his latest ludicrous fairy tale about my involvement in mutilating and consuming children, I feel I have no option but to reveal some more information regarding the reason why I removed him from his position working for the trust. I confirm again, Mr. Williams and I were not romantically involved. He and I are not, never have been, and most certainly never will be romantically involved. However, considering some of the content of messages I've received concerning him, I'm forced to reveal some information about a very personal and private matter, as what happened recently has obviously leaked. And An incident with him did take place a couple of months ago at my house, which left me feeling very shaken, frightened, and extremely upset. The moment the incident happened, I knew from that point onwards our personal and working relationship was completely dead, and I had to distance myself from him immediately. I do not want to reveal any more details regarding this at this stage, but if he continues to slander me, um, I would also like to publicly thank Tank for the support he gave me after this incident happened. So, she's basically just throwing him under the bus even more, regardless if it was true or not. But there's been a lot of um, information put out there that kind of points that was Kim, or maybe Tank that posted that. But also Kim herself went on Chris Rice's show and said, that he basically wanted to sleep with her.
Number two, I appreciate the Thomas Williams followers on your call as well, right? So they're here to make sure that they can make comments in the chat against me, right, on behalf of Thomas. However, what they're missing is the whole reason why Thomas Williams and I no longer speak is because Thomas did not like the fact I did not want to sleep with him. And he was angry about that. So now he spends every week saying what a horrible person I am. And it really all goes back to the fact I don't, and I have not, and I never will sleep with Thomas Williams.
So again, there's people turning on each other, Now before there's two more bits I want to do. I want to do one on Tank in a minute, but I've got to play this one, which is quite long, about 20 minutes. It's about well, should I say, he's basically calling out a lot of people in this one. So for the minute, let me just so this video, it's going to show it's about 20 minutes long. I'm going to play it. It's one from our old videos, but it's going to show you again how Thomas Williams just, he's really out to get revenge on everybody. He basically calls everybody out that he was once friends with, which he said they were friends, and also those that he'd been close to, including Kim, mostly Kim. He's really giving Kim some stick in this video. So let's play the video, and then we'll come back and we'll share the Tank one.
What is going on now is it seems me, Kim, and the Trust are right over the target, and I can confirm that. And so they have increased their army of internet minions to attack. But now Scammer has failed, along with Tiny and Techo and Whiskey Drinker and Expensive Cigar Smoker, etc., etc. The latest now is where they can target or attack us is that the trust funds haven't come out. And I get that, because that is correct. But I don't recall giving a date. And it's kind of pissing in the wind allegations and hoping that some of it lands in the latrine by some to justify their own failures and wishing to step out. And I guess for some, our light shines too bright. But it's also ironic, are the ones who are connected to the criminal elements in the DNC accuse us of not getting the funds out, and yet some of their own people and clientele list are the exact ones preventing it. Irony, like common sense, it seems, is lost on many. So because the trust funds hasn't come out, in their illogical and twisted mindsets, that means THI and me have failed. Nice try, Randy, and others. Some sent a load of stuff in to do with the Shane the Ruiner and his latest audio. And I know some of you are confused by it. And no, the latest audio is not the one of him in a dress attempting to sing Lady Rothschild. Oh dear. Which I haven't listened to any of them of the Jimmy Brent. I have better things to do with my time and listen to scripted narrative that has been sent out to deliver by his own Rothschild's family and the diminishing Draco brethren. The point is, he only did a second interview with his fellow agent Jimmy Brent because the first interview failed. The second fared no better either. Although I was told by people who did listen to it, it was all very mainstream media of statements and particularly with zero proof. And it's a desperate attempt to save face by a desperate group of people and entities, all to stay in control. Like I said, it's not about a mini alt media war. This goes into the bigger game right at the top. That's why he's doing it. And the desire to stay in control at all costs. Well, the point is, only the weak wish to control others. And they are terrified of losing control. So terrified at the moment, they fail to realize they already have lost control. Which is why they send low-level puppets with Stockholm Syndrome out into the alt media to discredit people who are just trying to help humanity. And clearly now our listeners have seen we have outed much of the whole system of control, perhaps more than any other show, and it heavily leans into a conclusion of one race being more prominent than others in it. Those who go by the name of Jews. And there are many alt media shows. But let's rattle off some names, shall we? Wilcock, Drake, Off Planet Radio, Project Camelot, Alex Jones, David Icke, The Sergeant Report, X22, Veterans Today, except Preston Nichols, Aim for Truth, Truth Cat Radio, Wolf Spirit Radio, Revolution Radio, Life Force, ITNJ, Anna Von Reitz, Graham Hancock, Richard Hoagland, Michael Tassarian, Pete Peterson, Robert David Steele, Sasha Stone, Cindy Bloody Courier, Karen Hudis, Neil Keenan, Jesper Ellerman, Michael Tellinger, Simon Parks, Cobra, Shane Bales, or The Ruiner, the Super Soldier Crew, Miles Johnston, Greg Hallett, Russell J. Gould, David Wynne Miller, amongst many others. Throw in all the crypto and RV people, as all of them work for and by the establishment, all of them. Now, all of these people I've just mentioned have made this claim and that claim, and they've outed this group and that group. And they've all revealed all kinds of differing information. And yet none of them went near the elephant in the room of the Jewish elite's problem. Now, why is that? Volumes and volumes of knowledge brought forth, and yet none will touch the main problem on this planet. Are they blind or complicit? You decide. And the questions remain is, has Charlie Ward become the new tank? What is the connection? Is it significant? Now, Ward became more known to us at THI following the trustee appearing on his show last October. And Ward has since sent me an invite to his show a few months back, and I ignored it. And I will repeat, none of which is operating for and by the people. They are all agency goons with faction-based narratives. Otherwise, at least one or more would cover the Jewish elite problem. But yet again, I've been forced into doing a show like this due to ongoing lies and distortions, all designed to deflect away from the poor behaviour and performance of one person and one group. I will probably have my life threatened again for saying this, and no, I'm not joking either. But I would sooner die telling the truth than live with the lies. This is something I never imagined I would have to say or do against Kim, but these are the situations she has created, and to date, only other people have suffered because of it. You have no idea of the depth of lies and sly, underhand tactics done against me and THI in the past 6 months. They say we are all inclusive. They lie. They say we are in it for humanity. They lie. They are in it for ego and personal donations only at this point, as little evidence is garnered to suggest otherwise. They have targeted and disrupted our group on a massive scale that has already been targeted and disrupted by Tank for the past 2 years. I knew that anyway, and warned Kim several times of what he was up to, and she chose to ignore it. Perhaps that now becomes indicative. But one of their own insiders, and then was confirmed by another who was asked to participate, in Tank's words, to destroy our group and build up theirs. I have spoken to a number of THI state and country groups recently, and their doubts they had about me and our group was staggering. Due to the lies deposited in private around our group, well, I gave them all the truth, and it's up to them now to decide how they go forward with it. I have lost Alan, Liam and Emma, all good friends of mine, due to blatant lies told to them by Kim, and some people think I should just shut up and tolerate all of this. Take the higher ground, eh, Alan? Well, would you? Would you is the great question to answer. What if it was happening to you? Our admins have run the gauntlet as well. You have no idea of the crap that they've had to endure due to their attacks and character assassinations. All to cover up the mistakes, antics, lies and failures of one person who is given every opportunity to correct her ways and mistakes. Well, I'm sorry, but enough is enough, and I will not sit back and allow them to trash me and us, disrupt good people, and continue to disrupt a movement for and by the people like they have done this past year. We are in a key phase currently, and many people are suffering, and their antics are beyond the pale, and their actions and words are as fake as their green screens and GCI or CGI based shows. Black eyes, sunglasses, and missing off video for a few weeks may all be an indication of an issue far wider in scope and something to observe, not absorb. They have used THI as a deflection and projection of their own failures and mistakes, and I, for one, will no longer tolerate this child-level drivel coming from Life Force, Kim, and Tank. I expected it from. He didn't disappoint. He is exactly what he says in his picture. Show me the money. But for the trustee, Eve, and Earth ambassador to involve herself in childish competition games, character assassinations, and no shortage of failures on a work-based level, this is unacceptable to me, THI, or humanity. Should our representative be acting in this way? Is it not her frequency creating and dispersing the discord of the whole planet currently? She is the mitochondrial Eve, for source sakes. She should be harmonizing and restoring the planet, not harvesting donations and killing people. The fall in her since the split from me is staggering and has shocked, saddened, and disappointed me in equal measure. She and Alan James seem to think it's all okay to trash me after all I have done, and erase me and our group from history to build up their own groups, and that I and we should just accept it. I could have done a show about this in May. I kept quiet. June, I made an announcement after Kim went public, not me. And I'm just supposed to go away and accept the lies and the character assassinations. Really, Kim, you can't answer one question from me, THI, or even your own followers without attacking them. People can all see it for themselves with your pithy and dismissive replies, backed up by Tank and others who comment or dare to ask a question. That's got nothing to do with me or THI. That's on your own page. We are supposed to be coming all together as one, not a full-on saviour program of I am the one and only. We're just not.
Well, there you go. Pretty strong words from him. Attacked, death threats, you name it. I mean, this is what they do when they've been dumped by someone else. There's lawsuits. They all want to sue each other, which is not kind of the godly thing to do, is it? You call each other names. They're going to go to the FBI. You name it. I mean, listen to this next one from Tank. I think it goes on for, I can't remember now. Was it 10 minutes? 10 minutes. This is his rant, okay, about falling out with this is after when Lisa Thomas and Kim had the breakup. Basically, Lisa Thomas, as you know, come out and she exposed Kim for lying and about everything that she talks about, and produce some really good content, especially the ladies' chats, girls' chats, discussions that they had, and of course, Lisa Thomas for a while knew, and so did Ava Cowan, that Tank was allegedly taking money from the donations, and it worked out to be something like $100,000 dollars or something. But let's listen to this. This is Tank's public statement. Okay, he's coming out and he's talking about a few people here where he's threatening them. He's been to the FBI. This is the funny thing, right? Is that these people go to the FBI, but they don't show us the FBI crime reference number. We've asked for it from Kim loads of times when she claims to have gone and report us to them. We said, well, show us the crime reference number then, and we'll go and check it out. Absolute bullshit. They'll never go to the police. They'll never go to lawyers or anything because they know they've done criminal activity. And this is what people got to understand. They'll never, ever take you to court, no matter what you do or say. Look at us, what we've said. Anyway, listen to Tank. This is Tank. This is funny.
Grand Rising Life Force, and welcome to the Life Force Network. My name is Steffen, Rowe, more commonly known as Tank. And we are in the process of launching and relaunching the Life Force Network, but more importantly, the Life Force movement, which has always been a movement of like-minded people dedicated to changing the world. Now, somewhere in the midst of this, because of specific events, this idea has been a little bit lost. So what happened was about 2.5 years ago, Lisa Thomas committed a crime. She set up another company, even though we were business partners, called Divina Feminina, and she illegally stole the DBA, or the Doing Business As name, of United Network. And she continued to operate our company, Life Force Solutions, even though she was removed from the company, for another 2 years after that, collecting all types of money from United Network Plus and various other things, including supplements and subscriptions, even though she had no right to do so. Our previous partners, or people that worked with us, was Lisa Thomas and Elvira Gagnon, who have continued to operate the Life Force Solutions company, which also held the name, the Doing Business As name of United Network. And they've continued to try to run that into the ground or do something else with it illegally when they're no longer part of either of those companies. That being said, there's been a lot of lies spread to intentionally destroy my reputation and others. Now, the recent split that Lisa Thomas had with Kim Goguen, that's opened up the window to provide new information. And this new information finally allows me to speak about these subjects. I was accused of stealing money, and we have records of who actually stole money, and we're more than willing to share that information. But in addition, my identity was stolen, my company was stolen, and I was left intentionally with nothing in an attempt to destroy the entire movement. So this wasn't just an attack against me, it was an attack against you and all things restoration related. And this was done by an operation that was connected to various agencies and Lisa Thomas and Elvira Gagnon. And in doing this, she actually stole my identity. She used a Stripe account that was mine and continued to use that long after. She opened a bank account in the company name of Life Force Solutions. And we are currently in the process of taking those things back over. We have frozen the bank accounts where Life Force Solutions was set up, and we're in the process of freezing other accounts. And we've actually filed legal suit, and we're working with different bodies of law enforcement. We've notified the FBI, various police forces, and several other organizations, because what she has done, in addition to stealing all this, is she has tried and attempted to demolish my character and reputation. And it looks like she's done this, at least appears this way, to have done this in consort with some agencies, plural, and she's done it willingly. And in this process, she's put out all types of slander and lies, claiming that I stole money, when in fact, really, she is the one who has stolen money. And she's also put out various things that are half-truths and not true at all, facts, ideas, and concepts about my personal life, slandering me in every possible way to make it nearly impossible to trust me or allow me to even move forward in my business life. She's even told our business partners that we used to work with that they could not do business with me. So this was a malicious attack. And this has been going on now for well over 2 years. Now, the only reason, because it's been brought up to me a couple times, people have asked me to do interviews on this topic, and I've said no because I didn't want to talk about this, because I just wanted to move on. But the reality is I didn't want to hurt the movement. So the reason why I didn't say something 2 years ago is because this was Kim, and still continues to be, United Network still continues to be Kim Goguen platform. And the things that she has brought out were so essential and important to the movement. I didn't want to be in any way derail the movement. However, that's exactly what Lisa Thomas set out to do. We will do a live Q&A conference call so that any questions you have, we'll do our very best to answer them. And you want to know who the real criminal is and what the real issues are, then you can come on that conference call. That being said, we have evidence to show exactly what they have done, how they've taken money, your money, and turn around and try to blame me for it. So we're going to share that evidence, but we're going to do it on a private Zoom call, provide the actual evidence of said events. We're doing this not because we want to. So if nobody shows up, that's fine. But if you want this information because it's something that bothers you and you can't move on, or you can't trust the movement until you know what happened, well, we're going to provide the information so that you can. We will not discuss this on the Life Force Network. We've been, and lots of people have asked me to do interviews on this topic. I will not do an interview on this topic. I do not want to talk about it. It is antithesis to the actual movement and the purpose of Life Force. Life Force is a movement of like-minded people dedicated to changing the world. And that's what we're doing right now. So we've got brand new partners, brand new products. We've been working with all types of things behind the scenes to get these things ready so that we can thrive and move forward. So I've stayed true to my integrity and to the actual meaning behind the Life Force movement, and I have not stopped, not once, since this all happened. And what we're doing now is we are rallying people together, and we're trying to clear the slate so that we can move forward. We're rallying people together to bring back the Life Force movement and actually start a brand new movement, bigger and better and more important, because we're in the midst of the very first stages of the restoration. And we, like you, want to be part of that. So we're moving forward with that. So just to clean the slate, because we have a lot of people who had questions and we have evidence. We have a lot of evidence to prove what we're saying. It is absolute fact. We have filed legal action. We're working in that. We're in a process. So there's certain things we can't say. However, what we are willing to do is we're going to have a Zoom call on Wednesday, June 12th, actually. Wednesday, June 12th, for anybody who still has a question. Now, maybe none of you care about this, and that's fine. And if nobody shows up, we'll not talk about this ever again. We are moving forward with the Life Force mission. But at 7:30 on Wednesday night, we will have a Zoom call where anybody can come on, friend or foe, and ask questions and challenge and discuss this topic. Because the reality is, this is bigger than me or anyone else. So I put my personal feelings aside, and I actually had to endure this as my name was dragged through the mud. And it's really important to know exactly who we are. So I'm clearing my name, and I'm hoping that you'll stand with us. So let's go change the world.
It's all about the money, huh? It's like Tiny said, Thomas Williams, show me the money. And that's what he's doing. He's basically just said everything there that they wouldn't ever do is go to the FBI. These are the deep state controlled agencies that you don't, why would you go to them when you've been slating them? All of a sudden, when it goes against you because someone's took some money or you accuse them of taking money, you go to them for help. I mean, it's just crazy, just mental. And this is what they do. Okay, so that is it, people. As you know, as I keep saying, these are all friends 1 minute, and the next minute they turn on each other. They basically rip each other's hearts out. Are these the people that are connected to Source and to benevolent ETs? Or should I say good ETs, the ones that are going to be, they are probably more connected to evil ones. But are these the ones that you would trust, you believe are getting information from our ET councils to give us a better life? No, I don't think so. I'm sure you're clever enough to work out yourself. Okay, everyone, thanks very much again. So it's a long video, but it's well worth it because of the information that's in there, just to show these people can't be trusted. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Frauds always turn on each other. 1 minute they're buddies, blood brothers, but as soon as they fall, they're swinging, spinning tails, fingers pointing and stinging. Thomas did it to Keenan, Randy, Shane, Tank, Dan, and Kim. It's always the same, promises and whispers, shadows in the night. When the curtain falls, they're ready to fight.
Scammers and frauds will always use you. Don't fall for their games, they'll abuse you. They'll smile, they'll charm, but here's the truth. Frauds always turn on each other. In the end, it's their proof.
Kim Goguen does it to everyone, burning bridges when the spotlight's gone. She even told the world with no shame or him. Thomas hates me cause I wouldn't sleep with him. It's a cycle of lies, a dance in the dark. They strike the match and they leave the spark. Brothers become enemies, enemies pretend. Frauds always turn on each other, my friend.
Scam